Of course, joining me as well is Mr. Diaz, all right?
Mr. Diaz,
Yes.
good afternoon as well to you, Mr. Diaz. So
Yes, good
how
afternoon, Kamran. Nice to be here.
nice to have you. Okay,
Yes, I think that's your family, right, Cameron? Yeah.
okay, all right.
Uh,
Love
um,
it.
uh, Cameron is from the South area, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. We have family in South, so yes.
right.
You're my family too. All right. Well, of course, good afternoon and welcome to those that are joining us for the first time listening to our radio program. Of course, every Tuesday on I-95 as we come on. Today, we're going to be talking about the immune system. Of course, if you really check what is actually happening right now, throughout the world, and of course, they're talking about virus, talking about COVID, and so many other different viruses that actually within our environment. So we want to basically work on starting the persons up this week on boosting up their immune system. To those that are joining us, you can join us actually live on Facebook right now. You can also join us live on YouTube and on Eden Heights Clinic. And we also have some specials for the month of January. So I'm going to be calling out that. Um, and then we will continue the program. But before we get into those special, the immune system. The immune system, of course, everyone has an immune system. And that immune system is like your defense. So what is a country without defense, right? A defenseless country, anybody could invade, anybody could come in and do whatever they feel like, and nothing will happen to them when they come in and do anything. Okay, now, I don't want to call names, so we'll keep it at that, Cameron. Um, yes, so the immune system, of course, when we look at it, it really keeps a record of what happens or anything that it has defeated before. For example, if any type of microbe comes into the human body, the immune system takes a mark of that and it takes a memory of it. And if it has defeated it before, then if it comes again, it's easier to actually start that war again and fight it off and prevent that particular substance from affecting the human body at a detrimental state. Because of course it will affect, because the immune system goes by response. So if there is something, a foreign particle that comes in, the immune gives off a response. Now, many persons call that response being sick or being ill. But is it really being sick or being ill, or is it that the body is just functioning as to protect you in particular? So when you see colds and cough and persons with skin rashes and they get flare-ups and all of these things, all of those are signs of the immune responding. Okay, so the immune system just responding to its environment. Of course, the main job is to recognize when there's danger and destroy that danger that is coming, or try to block off the danger that is coming. So we have persons who will suffer from many infection, like the flu, or sometimes the little common cold that may come. Of course, it's common, so it's just coming all every year. Especially around this timing where the place tend to get very dusty. You'll see persons who have sinus issues, they will start sniffling or the phlegm will come. So what we'll be doing today, we'll actually be giving some tips on how to deal with these issues, tips on what we do at the Eden Heights Clinic to help persons to get over any immune-related problem itself. All right. Of course, there are so many. The immune system is actually pretty complex because there's so many parts actually involved. You're talking about the white blood cells. You're talking about things like antibodies, which is created. You're talking about the lymphatic system, the spleen, the bone marrow, the thymus gland or the thymus gland itself. So you have so many areas that are actually involved here. Okay, but we won't have time to go deeply into those different areas, right? Just want to say good afternoon again to those that are joining us on Facebook. Good afternoon, Laura Thompson. All right, well, as you hear the name, so that's my sister. So thank you for joining us this afternoon. So before I continue, Mr. Diaz, you can join in now and maybe share some information on the immune system, and then afterwards, then I'm going to give off those specials. So persons who are listening at this time, you don't want to miss those specials that are going to be happening in the month of January at Eden Heights Clinic. And I'll give off the numbers as well for those who are listening. All right, so Mr. Diaz, you can come in. And Cameron can think about some questions that I know he will have.
Well, thank you, Dr. Thompson. Strange enough that you would mention that getting sick is, it's a response pretty much of the immune system. We don't really think about getting sick as being anything good. Really and truly, nobody would equate getting sick actually as or compare that to anything good. All right, but if there is an infection, for instance, the immune system's way of dealing with infections is basically to respond with a fever, for instance. All right, it heats up the blood and it takes the blood up to a temperature whereby the infection cannot survive, and it keeps it there for a period of time. All right, sometimes the period of time may be a short period of time, sometimes it may be a longer period of time, but it depends on how long it takes to kill that infection. As long as the infection dies off, then after that, you find that the body basically starts returning to a normal temperature. All right. Of course, if you are talking about a compromised immune system, well, then you find that this is where the problem may lie. If the body is not able to deal with that infection, of course, you find that the extent to which the fever or temperature raise is actually taken to could turn out to be, again, a very serious matter. Okay? But again, in the words of Dr. Thompson, as long as we get sick, this is the immune system responding to the situation at hand. All right? So the day we are unable to get a fever, for instance, this is when you know that the immune system has basically lost its fight. All right? It's no longer able to put up a defense against the infection or against the disease, or however you choose to put it. All right? So this is the immune system ways of responding to getting better. All right. Keeping the immune system functioning properly will depend on a few things. All right. Proper air, proper water intake, the right foods. For instance, there are certain foods, for instance, that can cause serious issues for our bodies. Hence the reason why, again, at Eden Heights Clinic, one of the first things that we will do in response to helping someone get better is, of course, we will change their diet. That's very important. Most of the foods that we tend to eat on a daily basis would be foods generally that does not carry enzymes for healing. All right. So if it is that we are using foods that doesn't carry natural enzymes, then it means that our body now has to put up the or fit the bill of providing enzymes so that the foods that we are eating could be digested. Okay, but when that happens, it basically takes a bit of a toll on the body. All right, it takes a lot of energy from the body. It takes time from the body. It takes, it takes a lot from the body. So the first thing we will do is we would basically work on changing the individual's diet. All right, we would recommend that they increase the amount of fruits that they're having, increase the amount of veggies that they're having. We would suggest certain supplements that will help the immune system. All right, and all of this in combination, of course, as we put it together, basically starts giving the body a better chance, of defeating whatever issues that the body is facing. All right, so it's a bit of work. There are some changes definitely that has to be undergone. But at the end of the day, if it is that you really want to give everybody a fighting chance of not just getting rid of infections or getting rid of certain diseases or issues, but it also gives the body a really good chance of, again, building a strong defense whereby it can prevent infections, it can prevent certain viruses and disease from actually infiltrating the body and compromising the immune system. All right, so keeping that in mind, Dr. Thompson, I suppose you can uh, maybe get a bit into maybe some of those specials that you were mentioning there.
Right, thank you for that. Any particular questions that you would like to ask Cameron, or if the
The doctor did mention food that we should avoid, for immune, but he didn't mention anything about drinking. What drink is good for, the immune system?
drinks for the immune system? All right, so hold on that, and we'll get back to that very soon, because there are many of them that you can actually use when it comes to the immune system. Right, so for those that are now joining us for the first time, of course, joining Eden Heights Clinic on I-95.5, you can send us a WhatsApp message on 493-9196, 493-9196. If persons want to call in to the office, they can call 613-7571, 613-7571. Or you can also call that number 493-9196. We're live on Facebook. We're live on the YouTube. And of course, those that want to join us on Instagram, you can just type in Eden Heights on Instagram and you'll be able to see us there shortly. Of course, we have some promotions for January. Of course, we have a special for persons that want to do treatments. Many persons would have gone through the Christmas festival and would have gone and eaten so many different foods. No matter what you think about it, there's so many foods that they would have eaten and full that belly and would have put on maybe a little extra pounds on the body itself. Now, if you want a particular therapy that can help you to shed some of those pounds, now this is your time. This is your time that you can actually call us now on that 493-9196 number so that we'll be able to get rid of that unwanted waste that was built up from that those holiday periods. So a special is get $100 off on the colon hydrotherapy treatment. So that actually was $450 and now it's $350. Of course, this is a steal of a deal. You don't want to miss this. You will want to make contact with us. Now, you want to book that appointment. This will actually run from the 16th of January to February the 14th. So from the 16th of January to February the 14th, you can actually take advantage, $100 off on your colon hydrotherapy. So it was $450 and now it's, of course, $350. So call that number again, 493-9196. And then we also have another promotion as well for you. So both of them, there's a special promo that you can take advantage of at this particular timing. And this one will just be running from January the 17th to the 19th, from January the 17th to the 19th. And that is, you get 15% off live blood analysis, 15% off live blood analysis. So let's say if it was 400, then if you calculate properly, you'll get down to around 340 for live blood analysis. So take advantage of those specials. So number one is the colon hydrotherapy, which was $450. It's going to be $350, and that will start from the 16th to the 14th of February. And then that special promo, 15% off on the live blood analysis, and that will start from the 17th to the 19th of this month. All right, so you can call our numbers or send us a Facebook Messenger message, or you can WhatsApp us at 493-9196. So as Cameron said, the drinks for the immune system. I would like to put together things like ginger, turmeric. If you can actually do a drink of ginger and turmeric, either you can make like a tea with it, maybe an inch of each. You can boil those two together and you can make that. Or, all right, we have a particular remedy that persons can put together, which is called super tonic. Now, persons don't want to take the labor and make it, they can always get it at the clinic. But usually in the case of drinks, you don't want anything with too much of sugar in it, or any sugar at all when you're fighting off the immune or when you're building the immune system. Now, when we talk about sugar, we're talking about refined sugars. We're not talking about natural sugars from the juice, or from fruit juice itself, okay, or from fruits. So oranges, pineapple is excellent to put in your smoothies. Whenever you're making your smoothies, that will actually build the immune system. I like to put sometimes a big thyme leaf. All right. I know my little nephew that runs outside and he just eats that leaf just like that. And his immune system always boosted from that. I don't know what he likes about it, sitting down and just chewing on it just like that. But I guess he has the idea of, okay, I'm going to protect myself if I do that. All right. So I'm going to just bring in Mr. Diaz again, because I know he has a wealth of knowledge when it comes to herbal remedies itself that you could put together for the immune system. So Mr. Diaz, you can come back in now.
Yeah, well, definitely. There is a remedy that I really love. All right. I tend to use it. I've had quite a lot of people basically use it. I have basically advanced a little bit on it. But it is one of those remedies that really seems to work without fail. All right. Of course, for the viewers, if you don't have a pen, this is a good time to get it, because I don't think you're going to get it a second time. All right. As Dr. Thompson says, the turmeric and ginger, definitely, those are two of the ingredients. I also like to add a few cloves of garlic. All right. I would also add some lemon juice, rough skin lemon juice, a little honey. And what I would also do there is that I would add just a pinch of cayenne. Okay. And you can actually use a couple tablespoons or maybe about a shot glass for a dose. You could use it up to twice or 3 times a day, depending. All right. If you already have the cold, you may probably want to use it at least maybe about twice or 3 times a day. But if it is that you don't have the cold, but you're trying to protect yourself from it, you can actually use it probably just once a day. All right. This works really, really beautiful. All right. So that's one of the things there that I could suggest. It's a really good remedy. Or some people may call it a flu bomb, but it works for a number of different things. All right. If it is that you're vomiting, it can work for that. If it is that you have a headache or a toothache, it could work for that. If it is that you have arthritis pains, it could work for that. If it is that you have a nagging cough, it could work for that. So there's a number of things that it can work for, but it is really good at boosting and keeping the immune system intact.
Okay, great. So tell me something. I know you can test your blood pressure at home. You can test your heart rate at home. Is there any way that you can test your immune system at home?
At home itself, as you said before, the immune system is very complex. So for testing at home, it will be one of the most difficult things. So I always tell persons maybe they can come in and do a test. Now, we can actually do a live blood analysis to check a person's immune system. We can also do what you call a complete blood count test, which actually checks the white blood cell in the first place. And it actually gives us a count of the white cell and how it's actually functioning. Now, a live blood test goes into looking at the function. And of course, a person get to see for themselves, what it looks like. And then as we go through it step by step, you'll be able to, to help a person to get relief of those symptoms that they're having.
Yeah. if I get fever, all the time, that sign of a good immune system.
It basically is a sign of a good immune system in a way, but look at it this way. Why it is that you're getting fever all the time? Is it something that maybe something in your environment that the body is trying to warn you of? Or is it that, everyone in the house is developing colds and cough all the time?
Yeah.
This is something you have to take into consideration as well. So
I'm getting cold all the time and recovering quickly. Is that
that's actually a very good response of the human body. But if you're not recovering very quickly, then that's basically cause for concern. You need to check that out. But we shouldn't be getting very sick often. All right. Now, if it is that, sometimes person might have, let's say they might be cleaning up, they might get some dust into the nostril area, and that could bring about a little cold or sometimes bring about a little cough. All that is just the body is responding to the environment that it's actually in at the moment.
And doctor, a lot of young people are getting heart attacks these days. Is that anyway related to the immune system? Tied in any way?
Yes, it can. Actually, how that one works. Now, remember, the immune system is also responsible for inflammation in the body. If there is, let's say, like buildup of plaque, the immune cells that actually ends up into the arteries, they work in a way by trying to prevent any issues from taking place. Sometimes, when it actually doing its work, it can rupture plaque and cause a heart attack as well. All right, but the immune system is actually involved in every disease on the face of the earth. All right, because it's responding to its environment that it's in. Young persons getting heart attack, there could be many causes actually to that when you really think about it. Number one, I would say sometimes due to a heavy amount of stress. Number two, you're looking at a person's diet, a day-to-day diet. Most of young persons are on the phone all the time, clicking at that phone, they're not getting good sleep. So all of that is actually putting a lot of pressure on the heart itself. Okay?
Great. Well, we have 5 minutes left. Okay. I have no more questions. Moment.
Right. So let me just put in there again. For persons that are joining us for the first time, of course, welcome to Eden Heights Clinic live radio program. Right. So the numbers that persons can get us on, you can call 493-9196, 493-9196. You can call that number now. If it is that you want to get us to get that special, that colonic special, you can call that number now. Now that special, of course, is $100 off. The treatment was $450. Now you get it for $350, and that is colon hydrotherapy. You want to get rid of all the wastage or all the toxic waste that would have built up from Christmas time. There are persons who actually suffers with constipation. This is a particular treatment that you can come in to do. Now, before we do those treatments, we usually run different type of blood tests. One of them that persons can take advantage of is our live blood analysis, which you are getting 15% off, and that will run from the 17th to the 19th. So that's this week. That's from tomorrow till Friday, right? So you want to take that advantage of that and come down to our Shogunas branch. Of course, we're located in number 41A Ramsaran Street. That is actually opposite the entrance of Price Club Supermarket. You can use Mid-Center Mall as your marker. Very easy to find if you're in the area of Shogunas. If you know the area of Shogunas, if you're coming from south, it's also very easy to find because you could just get us at a phone call. All right. So, Mr. Diaz, I'm not too sure if you have any closing comments, and then we will just wrap it up a bit.
Yeah. In reference to heart attacks, now, really and truly, that is something that is foreign to us. All right. When you're talking about young people, yes, we know that a lot of old people suffered heart attack in time past, but when it comes to young people having heart attacks, we know that this is a development that have taken place only over the last few years. All right. And of course, um, lack of exercise is one of the things that among other things, lack of exercise is one of the areas that I would actually watch also, because what you recognize is that ever since COVID and the lockdowns and stuff like that, one of the areas that has been lacking greatly is exercise. So most people, young people, whatever, basically just stayed home and became a couch potato. But you find that there haven't been a whole lot of activities and stuff taking place. I believe that was one of the aspects. All right, and myocarditis, all these different type of disease that we hear popping up that was not very uh, prominent before vaccination and all this type of thing. All right, we know that that is one of the side effects, of course, of our famous vaccination programs. So that is another reason why we know for a fact that heart disease and stuff like that basically started becoming an issue among younger people. Okay, but of course there are ways around that. Okay, exercise, proper diet, all right, taking the time out to basically start taking better care of our health, supplementing properly. It's always good to find out what am I lacking, and one of the first steps to find out what am I lacking, well, again, as Dr. Thompson says, come to the clinic, do a live blood analysis, let us sit down and let us discuss the matter. All right, but my advice is for young and old, of course, is to just be more proactive in terms of taking care of our health.
Yeah, yeah,
All right. So definitely call those numbers.
yeah.
All right, 493-9196. Or they can, persons, you can also get us on 613-7571, 613-7571. Today we actually start the topic of the immune system. We're going to be continuing on that next week, and we go into a little deeper information on the immune system and how it really responds to its environment and different diseases itself. All right, so join us again live on Facebook and on YouTube as well. You can also go and like our Facebook page. You can join us on Instagram, and you can share this live. And of course, but Cameron, I hope that by God's grace, God takes good care of you. And I hope that we'll be able to go through this season that is coming upon us with lots of viruses and colds. And definitely, we have a lot to offer to persons at Eden Heights Clinic. And that special, again, just want to leave with it. You can get $100 off on colon hydrotherapy if you call now. Call 493-9196, or you can get 15% off. Call now, 493-9196, and that is for live blood analysis. All right, so Cameron, take care, and thanks for being here with us.
Okay, so just in case you're now joining us, we were just chatting with Dr. Brian Thompson out of the Eden Heights Clinic, one of the most advanced state-of-the-art alternative clinics in the Caribbean.